Alrighty, we've got a man, Steve being an absolute piece of shit. All right? Shocker. Shocker. Steve's being a shithead. Steve's being a freak. Freak of the week. It's a long one, buckle in. Am I the arsehole for not giving my fiancé the ring back after hearing what he said about me to his friends? Story time. My fiancé and I are both 30 and have been together for 8 years and engaged for 4. We got engaged right before COVID hit, and obviously that made a huge halt on any sort of planning that went from there. Life events halted it even more. We became homeless, ended up pregnant and having our child. Fuck me, what a shit few years you had. I mean, congratulations on your child. But the rest of it, fucking hell, what a tough time. Now we're back on our feet, but not financially where we want to be just yet. More power to you, Queen. You'll get there eventually. Back about roughly 5 months ago, I brought up the idea of marriage again. Basically, yeah, you're 4 years into this engagement now. Brought up marriage and basically approached the idea of having a backyard wedding and a potluck. What's a potluck? What's that? This sounds very American. What is a potluck? Also, backyard wedding, backyard party in the back. Potluck. There we go. What is a potluck? Gorgeous. A situation where one must take a chance to whatever is available. Yeah, a situation in which one must take a chance that whatever is available will prove to be good or acceptable. Yeah, you're just working with what you've got. At this point, we're not going to have the big stately home wedding, okay? We're going to have the cute backyard wedding. Mum's going to make the flower arch. Susan next door is going to make the cake, and it's going to be perfect because marriage is not all about the big fat wedding. It's about the union of two people. You've been through a lot together. Basically going cheap because I don't really care that much about the wedding or the price or whatever. I just want to wear a pretty dress and have all eyes on me and get married to the love of my life. Amen. I don't care about the expensive bells and whistles. When I brought this up, he told me that wouldn't be a bad idea and that we could probably try planning for July-ish 2025. Whoa, okay. But we haven't really talked about it since that point as other shit came up. Right, well, babe, we're on the 23rd of June. We've got a week. Yeah? Here's the issue, though. Back about a month ago, we were down at our neighbour's home, Susan with the cake. I've just made Susan up. She's not real. People who have grown to be really good friends since we moved here a year and a half ago. I was hanging out with a neighbour's wife and her best friend, and my fiancé was hanging out with a group of 3 to 4 other guys having beers and working on vehicles. I love the way Americans speak. Working on their vehicles. Well, one of the guys was talking about his wife. Shit. And said, once you get married, everything fucking stops. I overheard in the middle of the conversation, so I have no idea what stops during marriage, but it was a negative comment regardless. Anyways, my fiancé then starts laughing and goes, that's why I've been dragging my feet on marriage. Right, Steve. And then the guys all laughed and said, don't do it, man. It's a trap, etc., etc. It really hurt me, but I figured it was probably just locker room talk and tried my best to move on. That's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. You should never talk about your partner that way. Ever. In a laughy, jokey way. If you've got issues in your marriage, be my guest, talk to your friends about it. But we're not laughing and joking about it. Imagine the disrespect his wife would feel if she knew that. But I couldn't let it go. It sat in the back of my head. A couple of weeks ago, I brought it up about getting married again and just ran some ideas by him on simple things like what he saw our wedding colours being, and he shut me down a bit and said that something to the effect of, I think we need to weigh the pros and cons of getting married first. And the conversation ended. Instantly plunged to my gut. Yeah. Break up with your fucking fiancé, hun. He doesn't like you. If he doesn't want to marry you out of fear of whatever it is that stops, we're going to have a fucking issue. I'm assuming he means intimacy. However, I don't know any married people. I'm sure there are many married people that are still, honking, getting it on, rustling them sheets. making babies, you know? I think sometimes that's a bit of a misconception. So I went back inside, calmly handed him my ring and asked him what he wanted for dinner. You said, you don't want to get married? Brilliant. I'm demoting you to boyfriend, motherfucker. I didn't want to make a big deal, so there was no yelling, no crying, nothing. I was calm and I moved on, but he instantly asked me what I was doing and why I wanted to give the ring back. So I mentioned his comments to his buddies about dragging his feet, and now his comments about needing to wait and weigh up the pros and cons before going through with anything, and told him I didn't want to wait, nor do I want to get my hopes up for a marriage, but that he's clearly changed his mind about. I didn't want to get my hopes up for a marriage he's clearly changed his mind about. So I would rather he have the ring back and go into this without the sound of wedding bells in my head. Let's just move on, basically. We can still be together, but I don't want my hopes up. Well, he got extremely defensive and started saying that I'm not saying it's never going to happen or you're being extreme for no reason, so am I the arsehole? Listen, the thing is, the issue here isn't the ring, is not the ring. The issue is that this man is scared of commitment. That is the problem here. He's heard his buddies, he probably doesn't have anyone around him that's had a really positive experience in marriage to express these concerns to, which, red flag, right? You know, birds of a feather flock together. There's a reason why in a friendship group, if one person gets married, if one person gets divorced, then it's like a ripple effect, because everyone goes, oh, well, Amy's fine. Like, I'll be fine if I get divorced. You know, I don't need to be with this person anymore. There's a reason that happens. If he doesn't want to marry you and he doesn't want to have that level of commitment to you, that's something you need to have a conversation about, you know, really, really seriously. There is no shame in not getting married. You know, some people just don't care for marriage at all, which, no bother. But could this ring be a commitment to each other that isn't marriage, that isn't a legally binding thing? Some people just don't want to get married, but they want that commitment to each other, which is sound. There is ways for you to work past this. However, him being so dismissive of what you want is not sitting well with me. That needs to be brought up and really unpacked, I guess. I don't like the way he was really dismissive with you either. Like, these are things that you have dreamed of and you wanted from a relationship when you got together. I'd be interested to know how long he's been friends with these buddies as to when his idea of marriage changed. Okay? Interesting thought to me. Do you know what, Steve? If it was me, if you got children together, you got a child together. You're obviously going to want to make it work for your kid. However, sometimes it's just best not to be with someone and then the kid can grow up in a better environment or whatnot, because it sounds like this is going to be an ongoing issue between you guys for a while unless you actually sit down and resolve it. You could just do a cute little courthouse wedding. There is, like, you don't need the big shebang if you want to be committed to each other. And actually, probably nothing changes from when you get married. It's just the advancement in your relationship and how things change over time. And if things do stop or, you know, things don't go the way you want, you then have a conversation. You then communicate with your partner about, I'm not happy with this, let's change it. Or, God forbid we talk to each other, you know? Yeah, not sitting well with me, that one, hun. Personally, I know what I'd do, but I'm not in the market to tell anyone to break up with their partner.
Please fill my cup. Am I really asking for much? It's been a long week, I'm looking for fun. Please fill my cup. Find me under the sun. SOS, I'm just looking for a good time. Oh, 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 oh. And I'm singing like, whoa.